Hey everybody, Carolina Tony coming to you from near Atlanta, South Carolina. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Be sure to subscribe before you leave, and also go down here and click the bell so you will be notified every time we put a video out. Now, this structure over my shoulder is something that people ride by every day. In fact, thousands and thousands of people ride by this thing on the way to Myrtle Beach for some fun in the sun. And they have no clue what this thing is. But it is a cotton press. It is thought to be the oldest one in existence. Was built somewhere around 1798. So let's go take a closer look. Now the weight of these arms going out would not be upon the ox or the mule's back, because those things would stop just a few feet short of the ground, so the mules would actually just pull it around. You can see up at the top where it's braced out. But this is thought to be the only one left in the world, or at least the oldest one in the world. When this thing was wound all the way up to the top, farmhands would stand on this little ledge right here and by hand or shovel or pitchfork dump the cotton down into the box there, and the mules would go around and press it down, and then they lift it up and add more cotton until it was all tightly compressed. The door on the side of it would of course be closed, and the two iron bars next to it would be fastened down. And after it was compressed as much as they could get, they would open it up and out pops the bale. Okay, we have a cotton gin here in the small town of Quartz, South Carolina. And I have permission to go on a little small tour. Let's go inside and check it out.
90 or 91.
Yeah, so that presses and then it comes out, runs on this track and goes over here and goes through the thing that bags it. Now, how many bales do you run out a day during the season?
We run a 10-hour day. We can run 150 to 170 depending on how the cotton's running and how much trouble we have.
You probably hear me in a lot of my videos talk about how I have a major problem with revisionist history. But South Carolina boasted as cotton is king. And that is what put South Carolina on the map, was all of its cotton, and it being on the coast and able to be shipped to all around the world. This is called Excelsior gin, and this is something that you would have found in the 1840s to the early 1900s, found in typical family plantations where they gin their own cotton. And of course, when the cotton was picked, it was packed into bales, and the bales had to be weighed in order to sell them, and they would use a cotton scale such as this. And that thing right there on the end, it's got the numbers on it that would tell how much the cotton weighed, and there's little weights down there where they could balance them, pretty much like in the old days how they would weigh meat. And in a lot of schools ask, who invented the cotton gin? Well, that question is debatable. However, it was Eli Whitney that received the first patent for the first cotton gin. But he didn't necessarily invent it. Quartz, is that correct? That's what sucks the cotton in?
Yeah, that one right here with the elbow down, it's got the Y on it here.
Uh-huh.
That's the one where it brings it in.
Right.
We used to bring it in from the front, but now we bring it in from the back.
Right.
Still left the diverter line.
So it goes through that hopper down there.
Goes through the incoming separator into the feeder.
Uh-huh.
The feeder meters it out into another duct line that takes it through a dryer and then through our overhead cleaner.
Okay. So that there's the gin itself. Now this, you say this thing here is about 70 years old?
Actually, this gym's 100 years old, but this equipment, most of it was put in like the 60s.
Okay. I know it's old. Now, what does that saw do?
It pulls the lint off the seed.
Okay.
And when we got a seed roll in the top of the stand.
So it separates the seed and
It separates the seeds and the lint.
Faster and hydraulically.
Yes.
I've done several videos on cotton mills and the textile industry, as textiles were very popular in the South in the early 1900s. And these are spinning frames that they would take cotton and turn that cotton on these frames into yarn, and then in turn would be used to make cloth. Of course, if you ever had any time off from work, you could come down to the general store and just spend all the money you have. And for you younger folks, this is what Walmart would have looked like in the early 1900s. They have everything you need, and if they don't have it, you don't need it. House, it talks about a mill house and how the houses were plain. And this is what they would have looked like. But folks, I don't think I'm that old, but when I was a kid, I looked pretty much like this would have been my house. Even got a bed like that. Anyone remember where the Roxy was? It's an old movie theater. Well, I will tell you this. It was on Donaldson Street. It was 17 miles from Fountain Inn, 35 miles from Lauren, and 108 from Columbia, 33 from Anderson, 53 to Greenwood. Have to do some research on that, see if it's still there. Here's an old buggy that was transformed into a car. It's called the Curved Dash Oldsmobile in 1904. How they've converted a buggy that was pulled by a horse into an automobile. Here's an old truck that you can see was once a wagon. Hear the sound of it running. There's an old steam engine back there in the back, and a kerosene wagon. Used to deliver kerosene to people to light the lights in their homes. Do you ever wonder how you get pecans in the grocery store in bags? Well, this is called a Quartz Rotary pecan cracker prototype, 1978.
In Maysville, South Carolina in 1930. While visiting the farm,
And pecan is a big crop in South Carolina, or some people may call it pecans.
after watching his mother crack the pecans with a daisy hand cracker, Quartz thought to himself,
There you go.
a better way to
So we've got machines that does it.
Quartz worked on and off patents for new and innovative.
And just for those that really wanted to know, did you know that there are more than 500 different varieties of pecans?
Performance was unlike anything the pecan industry had seen before. Pressure held the nut in place.
This is a full-scale replica of the best friend of Charleston, 1830. This thing cruised along at speeds up to 15 miles an hour for like 6 miles. People were thrilled to death. If they only knew what would happen in just a few short years. As I talked about my film that I made of the tornado in Hamlet, North Carolina, these first tracks were made on wood capped with just steel just on the top. It was only just the beginning. Well, that's going to do it for our trip to the South Carolina State Museum and to the cotton gin. Hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank all my subscribers for tuning in. Thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. Be sure to share with your friends. If you have any comments, go down below and leave me some. If there's any places you'd like me to travel to or any improvements you could see me making, let me know. Love to hear from you. But for right now, y'all have a good day.